Everyone. This afternoon we're going to talk about our daily activities practice. So far we've had a look at the sitting meditation practice and the walking meditation. The importance of continuing our awareness and wisdom practice throughout the day between the periods of formal walking and sitting cannot be emphasized enough. Really can't be stressed enough. In fact, one of my teachers used to say that awareness of daily activities is the lifeblood of the meditator. Failing to meditate on a daily activity means we're failing in our objective to be continuously aware. And without this continuous awareness of periods between the formal sittings, there really is little chance of developing the continuity that is necessary. Continuousness is important. It really is the difference between those meditators who see the Dhamma and those who do not see the Dhamma. Those who have a breakthrough and come to understand the nature of mind and matter, and those that don't. It's simply cause and effect. Vipassana insights are conditioned phenomena, and one of the conditions that needs to be in place is continuity. This helps us to continue our practice. The faculty of mindfulness becomes powerful and penetrative when it's constant and uninterrupted. So paying attention to our daily activities really is very important. Continuity of noting is needed to carry awareness from one moment into the next. When we do this practice in our daily activities, there are many things that we can learn, many things that we observe, things that we've been doing our entire lives, but we haven't been paying attention to them. We haven't really been there. Where have we been? Mostly in the past and in the future, all distracted by sensuality. So this is a very good opportunity of being able to fully be with your activities. Come to see the nature of what it is to have a mind and body process. When the fan is turning quickly, it's difficult to see the blades. But when the fan starts to slow down, we start to be able to see those blades. And the same with mind and matter, with nama rupa. When we start to slow down and really observe and become penetrative in our observation, then you'll start to see the different natures of our body, the different natures of our mind, and you'll see the interconnection between them, the conditioning and the intentionality aspects of our experience. In the Kaya Nupassana section of the Satipatthana text, it gives us 7 different contemplations in how to observe our daily activities. It's called mindfulness and clear comprehension, or sati sampajanya. We call it awareness and wisdom. During the retreat, all you need to do is become mindful and fully aware of what you're doing. We're also attending wisely. We're using a special faculty of the mind called yoniso manasikara. Yoniso manasikara is a very important part of our practice in our daily activities. In fact, it's very beneficial throughout our entire life. Attending to the cause of our behavior leads to nibbana. The Buddha used the term apamada. Pamada means negligence. appamada, non-negligence, or diligence, or earnestness. Try to be earnest. Try to be continuous. Do not be negligence. Do not be negligent. It's the opposite of mindfulness. It does take work to be in the present moment. You'll find it at the beginning of the retreat. It takes a lot of effort to be continuously aware in the present moment. The mind will want to slip off into the future, or slip off into the past, or go daydreaming and have a rest, relax in its wanderings here and there. That's its normal hunting grounds, where it goes searching for pleasure. But trying to apply and activate your mind in the present moment continuously, you will require quite a great deal of energy. In the beginning stages, it's tiring. And that's normal for any kind of exertion. So be prepared for that. As we become skillful in activating our awareness in the present moment and noting what is there, understanding and knowing the reality of that conscious experience, the mind will get the hang of it. It will start to pick it up quite readily, actually. It will start to do it automatically until the point comes where we can be continuously aware. We can be on autopilot and the mind is noting and knowing and letting go. To get to that level of practice, you will need to pay attention to your daily activities. It's continuity that brings on mahasati and mahapanya, great mindfulness and great wisdom. The momentum that the Burmese Vipassana masters talk about. Make a firm resolution in your mind for the retreat. Work hard. Try to note things continuously throughout the day and throughout the night. Now is your chance. Now is your opportunity to do this practice. Don't be negligent, and you will be rewarded with Vipassana insights. This practice of sati sampajanya, or mindfulness and clear comprehension, and yoniso manasikara. Manasikara is attention. Manas is the mind. Sikara is attending, the attending mind. Yoniso means getting to the root of things, getting to the womb of things, getting to the cause of things, getting to the reason, the motivation, why. Why are we doing what we are doing? What is fueling our activities and our behaviors? The first exercise that the Buddha asks us to pay attention to is the postures. Walking, standing, sitting, and lying down. He also asks us to be mindful when being silent and when speaking. All of these should be performed whilst you're on the retreat. The practice requires noting the posture in the periods outside of the formal walking and sitting practice. Since this is a silent retreat, you should be able to be mindful of your silence. But if there is a need to talk, be mindful of that too. Look at the motivation behind your speech. What is it that you're actually following? Is it a defiled state of mind, or is it a wisdom state of mind? In our daily activities, we use this mindfulness and full awareness practice to be aware of just how the body is disposed at all times. Is the body standing? Is the body sitting? Be aware of it. Is the body walking? Be aware of it. Is the body lying down? Be aware of it. Try to be aware of the posture that the body is in continuously. Pay attention just to that if you want to, through an entire break session. If you want to spend the entire time when we're having breakfast or a lunch break or a tea break, for those 1.5 or 2 hour sessions, try to be continuously aware of what posture your body is in. And, more importantly, try to be aware of the change between the postures. Try to follow the movement between one posture to another. Just in our sitting meditation, we pay attention to the whole body at the beginning of the practice. In our walking meditation, we pay attention to the whole body when it's standing. So too, in these daily activities, we pay attention to just how the body is. What is the sensation of the whole body? Try to grab the entire rupa, the entire body, all at once. In the beginning, you may not be able to get it all. It may be fuzzy and not clear. Try to internalize. This practice will assist you in becoming in an internalized state of present moment awareness. Try to resist the temptation of being caught up in the objects of the sense doors. Don't go chasing certain objects or sounds or smells. Stay within. Be in the here and now. Keep internalizing and keep your awareness on the whole posture of the body. It's not you. It's just rupa. It's made up of 4 elements. When you see this, you're going to be shocked. It's a shocking experience. I warn you. When you see what this thing actually is, you'll come to understand that, oh, what is this thing that I'm carrying around with me all the time? This thing that needs to be taken here and there. This thing that I've been attending to for so long. It's a heavy burden. It's a huge suitcase that you have to roll around. In fact, this body is like a pimple growing on consciousness. It's the physicality of our being. It's not you, although we strongly identify with it. We try to make it look nice and do this and that with it. Make sure it has the food that it craves. Make sure it gets to go here and there sometimes. We take it out for events, take it for an experience, take it out so it can see new things, take it so it can go and hear things. We wash it and we clean it, we bathe it, we clothe it, we lie it down to go to sleep. We spend much of our day attending to it, and yet we don't know why. Why are we attending to this body so much? What is the reason that we have to live our lives attending to this thing, this 4 elements, this warmth and this solidity and this energy movement within it, the flowing and the cohesion of the body and its sense faculties? It's got little holes in it. It can see, it can hear, it smells and tastes, but it's not you. It's rupa. It's physicality. Internal rupa is the same as the external rupa. The structure of it is no different. The difference is, this rupa is mine. You've taken it to be me. You've subjectified it. You're in love with it. You like it so much, you want to be with it all the time. Why? What is that about? Craving loves it. It finds being. Craving can create a sense of self, a sense of existence. through this body. Have a look at the reason why you need to constantly change the body. Constantly have to shift it from one posture to another. What is that about? Why can't you just be still in one posture for a few days? What happens if you stay for half a day? Even lying down in bed for 6 or 8 hours becomes unbearable. You have to stand up. You have to roll around. Why is it that you have to constantly change it and move it and attend to it? The first noble truth, there is dukkha. It's literally right under your nose. It is your nose when you take it as mine. There is dukkha. It's right here, suffering. It's manifesting. This is the physical aspect of dukkha. The Buddha says, I cannot see any single Dhamma that leads more surely to right view than this one of wise attention. Right view is the factor of the Noble Eightfold Path, the first factor. If we're to see things as they really are, if we're to attain to view, if we're to penetrate samadhi and understand the nature of mind and body, understand these Four Noble Truths, we're going to have to use yoniso manasikara. We're going to have to attend to the reasons and the causes behind our actions. The Buddha also teaches us in the Sabbasava Sutta, Bhikkhus, I say that the destruction of the taints is for one who knows and sees, not for one who does not know and does not see. Who knows and sees what? Wise attention and unwise attention. When one attends unwisely, unarisen taints arise and arisen taints increase. When one attends wisely, unarisen taints do not arise and arisen taints are abandoned. It's through this faculty, it's through this particular mode of observation and understanding that we start to remove these defiled states, these taints, these asavas, these outflows, the taint of ignorance, the taint of sensuality, and the taint of being. These all require yoniso manasikara. Unwise attention, yoniso manasikara, is at the root of the round of existence. It's at the root of samsara. Unwise attention is the cause of ignorance and craving. It's because we attend unwisely that ignorance arises in the present moment. With ignorance as condition, sankharas arise. With sankharas as condition, consciousness. With consciousness as condition, mind and matter come to be. Our experience, our ignorant experience, our unawareness is because of not attending wisely to the present moment. The opposite is also true. If we are to overturn ignorance and craving, if we're to break through and bring ignorance to a cessation, we're going to have to develop this yoniso manasikara, wise attention. Wise attention is at the root of liberation, and it leads to the development of the Noble Eightfold Path. In the Mahavedala Sutta, the Venerable Sariputta, the general of the Dhamma, that monk who was signaled out by the Buddha as being the foremost in wisdom. He was having a conversation with Mahakachana, or Mahakotita rather. He answered Mahakotita's question about right view by saying, "Friend, there are two conditions for the arising of right view: the voice of another and wise attention. These are the two conditions for the arising of right view." So by listening to the Dhamma, or reading the Dhamma, or watching the Dhamma on YouTube these days, visiting a teacher, and by using wise attention in the present moment, it is possible to break through from our micchaditthi, our wrong view, and come to sammaditthi, or right view. The destruction of the taints, liberation from samsara, the arising of right view is all conditioned and dependent upon this mental factor of wise attention. We need to make much of it. On the retreat here, it's an opportunity for you to try and develop it in the breaks between our formal walking and sitting practice. I want you to attend to your activities carefully, methodically, systematically, continuously, so that you can develop this faculty of wise attention. Wise attention is the advertence or the turning of the mind and fixing of the mind on something with proper consideration as to its cause, as to its reason, so that we can see it in accordance with truth. It's turning our attention of a particular experience and working out, why is this happening? Why? What is the reason? What is the cause? It's proper and skillful and appropriate attention. It's critical reflection. It's considering it thoughtfully, purposeful, systematic, methodical investigation. Unwise attention, ayoniso manasikara, on the contrary, is uncritical and unwise and improper consideration. We don't see why we're doing what we're doing. We just follow along with the defiled states. We become their slave. Ignorance becomes firmly established in every single moment. And with ignorance in place, craving comes to be. With craving, there is clinging. With clinging, there is being. The mind and body process becomes subjectified. Self arises, and with self, all the problems of being a person arise. Sorrow, lamentation, pain, grief, despair, depression, anxiety, stress and worries. All these things are based on a sense of self, are based upon improper consideration of our present moment experience. It leads to vipallasa sanya. When we're attending unwisely, what is actually impermanent is seen as permanent. What is actually unpleasant is seen as pleasant. What is actually non-self is seen as self. What is actually foul, repulsive, is seen as beautiful. We're completely distorted. We live in a conceptualized, deluded matrix. We're watching a user interface. We don't see the mechanics of what is going on behind. We're totally addicted to looking at our screen without paying any proper attention to it, without considering why it is the way that it is. Just going along, flowing along, experiencing dukkha and happiness here and there, chasing sensuality, hoping to get rich and get in love, and then we die. Great. There's no way to live. When we pay attention with yoniso manasikara to our activities, we notice that what's actually going on. We notice why we change posture, why we do what we are doing. We notice that it's unpleasant sensations that are forcing the body to change. We notice that it's unpleasant sensations that's forcing the body to change posture, to move, to wiggle, to shake, to scratch, to bend, to twist, to sway. All of our movements are to cure suffering. In fact, all of our activities are to cure suffering. We go around trying to make ourselves in some way relieved or escaping the unpleasantness of having a physical body. And yet we don't observe it, we don't watch it. We're completely unaware of it. That's what ignorance is. Completely and totally unaware of what we're doing while we're doing it. We don't see the reasons. The Buddha made much of this mental faculty. He insisted that we use it. He insisted that it's essential for the development of right view. When we use yoniso manasikara, we see the real reason behind our activities. We see what it is that's motivating these changes of posture and these fulfillment of various activities and behaviors. Normally we just think, well, that's what I like to do. I want to follow along, I'm seeking some fun, I'm doing this, I'm doing that because I want to. Really? First of all, there's no I. Is it really what you want to be doing? Have a look closely and see why it is you're doing what you're doing. Why is it that you have to scratch, or you have to shift your ankle, or you have to bend your neck? All these different behaviors. We attend to them. When we're sitting in our meditation practice and our legs starts to become a little bit numb after 15 or 20 minutes or half an hour, starts to become tingling, our knee starts to hurt or our back starts to hurt. I want you to pay attention to this carefully. Excuse me. I want you to notice that the changes in your body posture is happening because you're being forced to move by pain, by unsatisfactoriness, by discomfort, or by stress. Have a look at that. When we note the posture, we see what the posture is. We're in this posture now, we're rising, falling, rising and falling, rising and falling, paying attention. Our legs start to get numb, start to become unpleasant. Our practice is to follow the unpleasant sensation from one posture to another. Yoniso manasikara notices that the new position is actually curing the suffering of the old position. When we're attending wisely, a little insight arises. Oh, this has just been performed to cure suffering. There are two steps in this process. First of all, we see the uncomfortable sensation, the pain, the unpleasantness, which is a mental feeling, and the uncomfortable sensation, which is rupa, the body. These are arising together. We're normally identifying with them, my painful sensation. There's a subjectification of the physical and the mental. That's our normal, common, everyday experience. First, we note that. Secondly, we note that the second position that we've moved into actually cures the pain. We see the reason and the cause of that change in accordance with Dhamma. We come to understand that the body has to constantly shift and manage itself to overcome suffering. We see suffering as suffering. We don't see suffering as happiness for the new posture. So an important distinction here, and this is yoniso manasikara. It's important for us not to dislike the old posture and then, having some aversion, start craving for a new posture, thinking that the new posture is going to bring us some happiness. When we're disliking the old unpleasant, that's aversion. When we're seeking out and wishing for some kind of happiness in the new posture, that's craving. Aversion and craving are able to arise when we do not have wise attention. When we have wise attention, we see that there is suffering arising, and we see that suffering is being cured by the change of the posture. Try it out for yourself. It takes several hours of being in the body, constantly paying attention to the posture that we're in, and witnessing for ourselves the different posture changes. In fact, while you're on the retreat, use a whole day. Wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning and start to pay attention to the entire posture of the body. Try to follow it throughout the day. Witness it, observe it, pay attention to it continuously. Don't let it slip. Really be aware and become familiar with the nature of the body and why it does what it does. This will lead you to a wonderful understanding about the nature of existence. You'll really start to see the nature of suffering in your own experience. It will be clear. You won't have to rely on someone else's knowledge or second-hand understanding. You'll directly and intuitively perceive, this body really is dukkha. So try to maintain this awareness in the present moment until another pain arises, and then watch the body be forced to change again and again and again. It's constant, it's continuous from the time you wake up throughout the morning and afternoon and into the evening, and then the next day, and then the next week, and then the next month, and next year as well. Constantly changing to cure suffering. If we don't use yoniso manasikara, then we'll just be living our lives avoiding unpleasantness and seeking out pleasantness, mostly through sensuality. That's our only escape. Use wisdom and understand what you're trying to escape from. Try to see it clearly. When you see it clearly, you'll be released from it. You'll come to understand the chase. You'll come to understand the seeking and the search. You'll come to understand why you've been doing what you've been doing your whole life. Seeking out pleasantness to avoid the unpleasant. It's no way to live. It's dukkha. You'll need to be earnest, you'll need to be continuous to keep up this practice. There are other things that we can investigate whilst we're doing our daily activities practice. The Buddha also instructs us to become aware of going forward and returning back, to looking at an object and looking away, to bending and stretching the limbs. Pay attention to these minor things as well, not just the major postures. Become aware when the head is turning. Become aware when your arms are bending and stretching. Become aware when you start to sway backward or sway forward. Try to pay attention to all the minor postures as well. Many of our activities throughout the day involve these movements. The practice is to be mindful and fully aware, noting exactly what is going on. In an aid to the noting process, we use a technique which is called labeling. Labeling involves putting a very soft mental note or a word as we perform a particular activity, whilst it's going on. Labeling helps us perceive the intrinsic qualities of our experience and helps us perceive the structure of our experience. Labeling assists us in not getting stuck in the content of our experience, in the conceptual, fast-moving, fast-flowing stream of mental and physical phenomena. We don't break into actual speech when we're labeling. We're just being constantly aware of what's going on, popping a little word in there, creating space around the event or the experience, and stepping back from it. Labeling assists us in making some space around whatever is going on. It's an assistance to noting. It's a very useful tool. A simple word is enough, but labeling is only an aid to our experience. It's only there to help us. After a time, when we become skillful in noting, we can drop the labeling. In my experience, labeling is very, very useful. If you can label something once a second, you'll start to develop your meditation practice very quickly. Label something, whatever it is that is the object of consciousness. Consciousness arises, it always is consciousness of something. Whether it's a physical sensation or a feeling or an emotion or a thought, it's always of something. Note what that is and label it. It will assist you to maintain your awareness in the present moment. In the sitting practice, the rise and the fall assist us to be in the present moment continuously. In the walking practice, it's the 4 stages: lifting, raising, moving, placing, that assist us to be in the present moment. In our daily activities, it's this constant noting of our experiences, our bendings, our stretchings, our turnings, our twistings, our lookings, our seeings, all those activities. If you're able to constantly note continuously, it won't be long before you're very, very present. And not only present, but detached from your experience. Noting and labeling creates enough momentum that the stickiness of being in your life, the stickiness of participating in your life gets unglued. Instead of being an actor on the stage with the other actors, jump off the stage and sit in the audience. That's what noting does. Labeling assists us to jump off the stage so that we can sit in the front row and watch, witness, observe what is actually going on. Knowing allows us to understand what it is that's going on. We're noting and we're knowing. When noting and knowing takes place, things are let go of. It's impossible, if something is noted and known very clearly, it's impossible for craving to land on it and manipulate it into a foundation of me, mine, or I. It's impossible for subjectivity to arise. There's a direct and clear cognition of the present moment. Mind and matter arising independent of desire. We penetrate nature. We see the raw data before conceptualization takes place, before things get taken as me and mine. So use the labeling technique as much as you can. Try to note whatever you can. Once a second is okay. Once you get up and fast, you'll be able to note several things a second, until the point you'll be noting many, many things as they're arising and passing away. The important thing is not how many things you're noting, or whether you're able to note everything. You won't be able to note everything. There's hundreds of things arising and passing away every moment. The important thing is that you're able to be continuous with it. Continuous enough to make it an uninterrupted stream of awareness. Continuous enough for the mind to become one-pointed in this mode of observation. That one-pointedness is samadhi. Our practice is to make the mind concentrated and stable so that we can see things as they really are. Concentration, or samadhi, is the proximate cause for the unfolding of insight. You'll need to be continuous in your noting practice to make samadhi arise. This particular type of samadhi, which is balanced with the other four faculties: faith, energy, mindfulness, concentration, and wisdom. These five faculties need to be fully balanced for the unfolding of Vipassana insights. For example, choose an activity, and you can choose one repeatedly every day, but choose one or two and practice with it. It can just be a little activity that you like to do or that you have to do. When you arrive at the dorm room, for example, just stand in front of your door. It's simple to go in through a door. You can just pull the key out, mindfully unlock it, push it, go in and sit down. Of course, you can do that. Become mindful of how you open the door. Standing, seeing. When you're seeing the door, make a note that seeing is occurring. When you're intending to enter the door, make a note that you're intending. When you're reaching out, make a note, reaching. When you're holding the lock, touching, coolness, intending to twist, twisting, opening, bending, pushing, and then go through the door. Try to be with each and every activity. You won't catch them all, but try to be as continuous as you can. Try to develop this faculty of mindfulness so that it becomes uninterrupted and continuous. Through exercising the faculty of mindfulness, it becomes strong, and it will start to arise continuously in the present moment. In the beginning, we may not be able to notice everything, to note and to label all these separate actions. Don't worry, slow down. Practice slowly and systematically, and soon you will be able to practice everything. Why do we perform the various activities that we're performing? We've just mentioned it's to cure suffering. Think about the things that you do every day. Why do you eat? Here, before we have the meal, we do a food reflection. It's about the development of yoniso manasikara, wise attention. Considering it thoughtfully, I eat this food. We're not eating for pleasure or for fun or enjoyment or getting fat. We're eating to sustain the body, to take away feelings of hunger and not create new feelings of fullness. Observe why we eat. Eat mindfully, eat with wise attention. See that the act of eating is to cure suffering. What happens if you don't eat? Is there any suffering that starts to occur? Before long, just miss a day and see what it's like. Miss a couple of days. Watch the mind twist and turn when it doesn't get its food. People go crazy. Whole communities go quite mad if they start to miss out on their food. People riot just because of no food. Have a look at the suffering that is caused. Have a look at what eating actually is. When you're putting food into your face, what is that all about? It's curing suffering. Why do you take a bath? Why is it necessary to shower? Why is it necessary to rub a scented soap all over the body? What are we doing that for? Is it so that we can smell beautiful all the time? Or is it to remove the grimy stickiness, particularly in this climate where it's a little bit humid? We're washing the body for what reason? To cure suffering. Why do you wash your hair? When it feels greasy and sticky and starts to smell? That's why you're washing your hair. To cure suffering. Why do you have to trim your toenails? Why do you have to do all these different activities? Because it's suffering if you don't. It starts to become unpleasant. Why do you need to go to the bathroom? What happens if you don't urinate? What happens if you don't defecate? Are there any pains that start to arise in the body? Yes. These activities are purely to relieve suffering from the body. The body is in a state of constant distress. That's what it is. It's dukkha. It's dukkha manifesting in the present moment. When we hold on to it and cling to it as me and mine, we get a lot of suffering. This physical thing that's growing, that grew inside our mothers and exited. And we've been growing it up ever since, attending to it on a daily basis, making sure it gets sleep every night. What happens if it misses out on sleep? You miss out on sleep for a night, you start to feel quite uncomfortable. You miss out on sleep for 2 nights, it's torture. It's a torture technique, not letting people fall asleep. It's almost unbearable. They start to spill all their secrets when you stop them from sleeping. Why do we need to sleep? To cure suffering. To cure the tiredness that comes upon the body. Try to observe all your activities as curing suffering, not seeking enjoyment and delighting. It's not that delightful having one of these things when you see it properly, when you see it correctly. If you don't see it with wise attention, then you'll think it's a wonderful vehicle for having fun and experiencing pleasant sights and sounds and smells and tastes and touches. It'll be a wonderful vehicle for the development of being, to be a person, to be a self, to have an identity, to create a fancy image of yourself. And then we start to extend that out. We create a Facebook page for it and start to identify with that. Have a look at those activities. Why do we have to clean our teeth? What does it feel like when we don't brush our teeth? Is it nice? What's it like after a couple of days of no toothpaste or no teeth brushing? Yeah, suffering. What happens to our breath? Suffering. Try to see what you're doing in your life. Try to observe the nature of the mind and body process. Try to really understand it. When you understand it and see it clearly, you'll want to escape from it. There'll be a surge in your spiritual commitment. You'll seek to escape from samsara, not just wallow like a pig in enjoyments and sensualities. Even washing our clothes. Why do we wash our clothes? Is it so that they look pretty and nice for others? No, because wearing dirty clothes feels uncomfortable. We wash our clothes to cure suffering. Even the most basic and simple of things, constantly curing suffering. What's it like to be thirsty? That's one of the worst ones, when the body doesn't have a drink of water for a few hours. We have to cure that suffering, cure that thirst. If it doesn't get that water, starts to panic. Really panic. Don't have a drink for 2 days and see what happens to you. Yeah, the body freaks out. The mind freaks out. Yeah. You'll even drink something dirty to try and overcome that suffering. When we're on the retreat, we only go about our daily activities to the extent necessary for wisdom to arise. Please reduce your activities down to the bare minimum. Don't perform any extra activities. Our assistants and volunteers on the retreat will try to make sure everything's arranged for you so that you can do your practice as best you can. Naturally go about your business. Don't rush your daily activities. So that you can get to the business of meditation. Those daily activities are your meditation practice. Pay attention during your walking meditation and whilst you're moving around the monastery. When you've been walking for a while, what's the feeling that you want? You want to sit down. Why? Why do you want to sit down after walking? Examine that. Excuse me. After you've been sitting down all day, you want to go back to your room and lie down. Why is that? To cure suffering. If you intend to lie down, before you lie down, make sure you note what's going on in your lying down. Be aware of the lying posture. Be aware of your movement and adjustment of the body to get yourself just in the right posture. Attend to that. Attend to all the details. If there's any pain that starts to arise in the body during your sitting meditation, attend to those aches and pains. Make a note of them. Don't subjectify them. Don't engage with them. Notice them. Oh, suffering is arising in the body. Try to maintain your awareness of them as long as possible until the suffering forces you to change. Don't become upset with the suffering in your body. It's normal. Don't become excited about changing your posture and moving to another position. Just follow the suffering from one posture to another and see the continuity of it. This will lead surely to right view. You'll come to quickly understand the nature of human existence. The Buddha was right. There is suffering. It's omnipresent. It's constant and continuous when we're not paying attention in the present moment. Awareness and wisdom has the ability to overcome this suffering. If there's any kind of itching sensations that start to occur in the body, such as now, itching. Before you just mindfully reach up and itch, make a note of that physical sensation. Put your awareness on the spot. Be aware of the physicality of the sensation. What is it that's actually there? Some kind of tingling, some kind of little buzzing, some kind of little bzzz. What is that? A little spot on your skin that's all of a sudden become unbearable. You have to reach up and scratch it, touch it in some way, and then it's gone. Before you do that process, just observe with wise attention why you're doing what you're doing. Make a note that you're curing suffering. I want you to try and see this continuously throughout the day, that you're constantly curing suffering. When you're in the monastery, it's not that there's more suffering here, but, well, maybe, but you will be much more aware of it. But with that awareness comes wisdom as well. You'll be able to exit that suffering in a much more skillful way, rather than using a sensual object to distract yourself and try to escape it through some pleasantness. Become aware of the itching and the unpleasantness that occurs throughout the body. And before you scratch it, make a note of intending to scratch. And when you're intending to lift your hand, lift it up, lifting, 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 touching, touching, scratching, scratching, relieving, liking. There shouldn't be any liking. But if there's some liking, make a note of it. In the beginning there is. Make a note, withdrawing, withdrawing, curing achieved. You've cured that little moment of suffering. And then wait for the next one to arise. There's a new moment of suffering just around the corner. Constantly and continuously. Be aware of that. Watch out for it. When you feel sleepy, this can be a type of suffering. When you feel bored, when it's 4:30 or 5 o'clock in the morning and it's feeling uncomfortable, the body's not really ready to be awake, it's not used to being awake at this time of the day. Look out for the unpleasantness that starts to arrive, the nodding that starts to happen, the wish for lying down. In fact, when you hear that bell in the morning, look out for that suffering. A little bit of suffering in hearing. Oh, the bell. What's your reaction to the bell? Is it, oh great, I can't wait to get up and go and sit in the hall? Or is it, oh, just roll over for another few minutes. I'll get up. Everyone's going to be there. Oh, I'll have to, I guess. Do you make suffering for yourself? See it for what it is. We do create our own suffering. Have a look at simple activities such as getting dressed. When you're getting up in the morning and you swing your feet down and you lift up your mosquito net and you go to put on some clothing, have a look at what you're doing. Why are you putting on that clothing? What is the usefulness of clothing? Is it to keep the body warm, or is it to keep the insects off you, or is it for modesty? Is it the rules of the center? No naked meditation in the hall, please. Have a look at that. Why you're doing that. Why do you use clothing? Are you trying to make your body look funky and beautiful? Are you Mr. Cool? What is that about? Have a look at your use of clothing. Be aware of when you're pulling your pants on or your dress or putting your top on. Feel the touch of the fabric on the skin. Make a note of the touching. Make a note of the warmth. Make a note of the itching. Make a note of whether your pants are matching your shirt and whether you're satisfied with that or not. When you're getting dressed, don't just do it unmindfully. Pay attention. You're curing suffering again. Try to see this for yourself. Why do you apply mosquito repellent? Is it because you like the smell of that stuff? Is it a nice perfume you'd like to? No. Why do you use that? To cure suffering. Have a look at while you're eating and drinking, chewing and tasting. Why are you doing these activities? Attend to every mouthful of food that you put into your mouth. Why do you keep putting stuff in there? Why do you do that every day? There's a hole in the front of your face. You keep putting stuff in there. What for? Attend to that behavior. Have a look at it. When you have your plate of food in front of you, first you make a note, seeing is occurring. And then you're arranging the food with the spoon. And then you're dipping. And then you're bending, 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 opening. Put it in the hole. Placing, placing. Close the hole. Tasting, smelling, liking, liking. When you start to chew, what's actually happening? The lower jaw is dropping and raising. The upper jaw is attached to your skull. Look at that. There's a thing that's going up and down, chewing the food. Yum, 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 yum. See if you're eating mindfully or not. Or are you just indulging in the flavors and thinking, oh, this is nice. Oh, wonder what's in this. Is there any more? Don't look at other people while they're eating. You'll just start judging. Oh, they're eating fast. They're a slow eater. Oh, they've got a lot. Have a look at that behavior. That's not what we're doing. Pay attention fully to the act of eating. Each spoonful should be chewed and swallowed before you swallow. Have a look at the tasting that's going on in the mouth. Is it a continuous thing? Is there different tastes? Look at tasting consciousness as it arises on the tongue base. Different types of tastes. Have a look at if there's any liking or disliking. Attend to all the different activities, and then when you intend to swallow, make a note of the swallowing as you start to swallow. How far down can you follow the physical sensation? Then you can reach and reaching, 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 seeing, dipping, dipping, lifting, 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 placing, placing, tasting, chewing, chewing, chewing. Really be with it. See how many spoon loads you can get in before you start wandering. Bring yourself back. So perform the contemplation in this manner each time you have some food. When you have your hot chocolate in the afternoon or a cup of tea, attend to what you're actually doing. Why are you taking this food? Is it to cure your boredom, perhaps? Is it to cure your hunger? Attend to it wisely and carefully. As you continue to do this practice and this training, you'll become more and more aware of the different activities. You'll become more and more aware that it's curing suffering. When you're attending to your drinking, have a look at that. When you become thirsty, you have to search for your water. Maybe you have to go and collect it. When you've just got a bottle or a glass nearby, make a note of the act of intending to reach, reaching, touching, holding, unscrewing, lifting. Before you pour it in the hole, make a note of what you're doing with that water. Why are you putting this liquid into the body? Is it for some kind of enjoyment? Look at all those different acts and different things. Even when you're going to the bathroom. I'm not going to describe that, but you can do it for yourself. Have a look at that. What are you doing in that small little room with the door closed? Why don't we want others to see us, what we're doing in there? Have a look at that. What is that behavior all about? Going to the bathroom. So attend closely to what you're doing. Perform these acts of washing the face, for example, in the morning. Smell the soap. Feel the sliminess of the soap on the skin. Feel the smoothness. Feel the stickiness before you wash and feel the freshness after you've washed. Notice that the difference between stickiness and freshness is suffering. You're curing suffering. You're not hoping to make your life happy by washing your face, but you're removing something which is uncomfortable and unpleasant. Even when you're shifting the body, attend to the swaying and the bending, attend to the twisting and the turning. In your yoga practice in the morning, attend to the body. Why are we doing this yoga practice? Keep your awareness inside the body. Keep your awareness in the present moment. See what that practice is all about. Are you doing your yoga practice so that you've got a hot body? Or are you doing your yoga practice to make yourself healthy, to cure suffering that's going to arise if you don't attend, if you don't exercise, if you don't allow the vital movement of energy through the energy system in the body? What happens when you don't properly bend and stretch the body? Feel that. Feel what it's like when you don't do it after you've been doing it for a while. There's suffering there. So attend to these things carefully. So make a note of all these different things in your daily activities practice. There's much to see, there's much to understand. Don't think of it as a kind of secondary development. Real wisdom can arise into the nature of the mind and body process. Real understanding can arise. The Venerable Ananda, when he was the Buddha's attendant for 25 years, followed the Buddha around everywhere, but he was still only a stream enterer when the Buddha died. He wasn't fully enlightened yet. He hadn't been fully practicing. And then the senior monks, or the arahats, 499 arahats, as the story goes, were having a big meeting after the Buddha had passed away. And Ananda was meant to attend the meeting as well. But Ananda was only a stream enterer. I say only. The night before the meeting, he decided, that's it, I'm going to work all night. I'm really going to strive intensively and continuously until I gain full awakening. Of course, he was practicing very strongly, but he probably had a little bit of desire. And so he wasn't really getting it. It was being blocked from him. And then, when he finally kind of said, well, enough in the morning. That's it, I better lie down and have a sleep. Let go of that desire, most probably. And in the posture between standing and lying down, he became fully enlightened by attending to a minor posture, the Buddha's attendant. So, don't think that these practices are in some way inferior. In fact, they're very, very useful for attending to the present moment. I think that's enough for this afternoon. Please attend as best you can.